What's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be reviewing the Springfield Armory Hellcat, and this is honestly one of my most requested guns on the channel on Patreon, which was where I first put this announcement out that we were going to do something on this gun. Asked the SHOT team if they wanted to see it. They wanted to see it. Y'all wanted to see it. So here it is. This is the OSP or optics ready version. I've had this gun on order for like I don't know, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. It's been a little while, and I've been waiting patiently for the first 3 weeks, and then after that, sent about an email a week wondering where the pistol is, and we finally have it here ready to show y'all the ins and outs, the pros and cons. You know how we do it by now. A little bit of comparison with the P365, which is where I think this pistol is, that's where it's trying to compete. I'm pretty sure, but just a wild guess there. Hey, before we start, I would like to thank our patron of the week, up to the $5 SHOT Team Power Patron level, Mr. David L. Thank you for joining, and look for your name coming after the credits roll. You are going to be up on the screen there, so make sure you look for that. If you would like to join our awesome community and maybe help us pick our next pistol review or get a patch or something else, there's, I don't know, 5 tiers up there for you to suit all of your needs, and join our awesome community over on Patreon. And thank you for your support no matter what the capacity. Let's get into this. So I don't normally point out cardboard boxes, but I must say this is actually a pretty nice box. All right, it is cardboard, but I don't know, I kind of like it. All right, so you open up the box, you're gonna get a thank you letter there from Springfield. Not really a letter, but just printed on the inside of the box. You're gonna get a little pouch here with the star of the show, 11 round mag and a 13 round mag. And again, this little carrying case is, nothing special, but it's kind of nice that they include it. You're going to get information about the OSP. You're going to get a Torx wrench. You're going to get some screws to mount your optic. This one will take the Shield RMSC or the J-Point Micro electronic reflex red dot. I don't know. There may be some others that this one will accommodate. I can tell you that one of my Crimson Traces, actually both of my Crimson Trace optics were not able to fit inside of that pocket. So there's that. And then you're going to get a couple of different base configurations. This is for the 11 round mag. A little bit of an extra pinky extension there, but I like it in its flush configuration for carry. But you can see what that looks like there if you prefer to have that. They do give you that. They're going to give you a target, show you what they did at, I don't know, 10 meters here. Not too bad. And then some other literature, gun oil, things like that. So let's get the box out of the way and look at the gun here. All right, so let me talk about the specs here, and then we'll go over the features. So overall length is 6 inches. You have a 3-inch barrel. You have 4 inches in height with the flush mag, and then 4.5 inches with the extended mag. And then your unloaded weight is 17.9 ounces with the flush, 18.3 with the extended. All right. And by the way, Springfield, thank you for putting all that information in there. Most manufacturers don't put with the weight with the extended and all that good stuff. So that was good to see. Of course, you have a 3-inch barrel. It's hammer forged, melanite finish on the slide and barrel. And the slide is billet machined, and of course, melanite on that as well. That may tell you something, but I would like to at least compare it a little bit, just in size for this video, to the P365, which is obviously what the Hellcat is trying to go after as far as the market. P365 has been highly successful. It's been controversial, but there's no doubt that it has been successful. So let me show you what these two look like. Slide to slide, just the back of the slides there. They are almost identical in length, in width, and in height. Let me move the Springfield in front there. So it's weird because the way the magazine is angled on the SIG, it's actually shorter in the rear but a little taller in the front. I would probably call that a draw if I was grading this. I mean, really, they are almost the same. What's kind of funny is 10 plus 1 and 11 plus 1. Springfield didn't say, let's go 12 plus 1. They literally said, let's one up these guys and they did 11 plus 1. That's kind of funny. I like it. So there you go. There's size comparison with the P365. Very close. There are holsters available for them. If this is the first time you've ever joined our channel, welcome. We like holsters because these things are comfortable, they're simple, they don't add a lot of weight, and they are very rugged. They keep the gun locked in place. This is what I prefer right here. Discounted through our channel, the whole 9 yards. But this is the setup. I mean, this is so small. And even if you compare that to the P365, you can see how almost identical these guns are in profile and size. Very impressive. So I do like that a lot. What they've done with the size here and being able to squeeze 11 rounds out of this gun is actually really cool. And then, of course, you do have your 13-round mag. I don't want to leave that one out, but it's going to add an extra ½ of an inch there. All right, so it's a great backup mag and great for the range as well. And it's really impressive when you get these smaller guns on the range, which we're about to go to here. It's really impressive to have a gun like this and you don't have to reload every 6 or 7 shots. I think it's really cool how these companies are just able to get more and more out of less and less. I really find it pretty cool. The times we're living in, man. We thought it was really good a couple of years ago with the Shield and the Glock 43 and all these guns, and then now it's, the Hellcat and the 365 and who knows what's next. So things are just better in the concealed carry market, and they are getting better. So that's a really good thing for all of us. All right, so there's a lot to unpack here with the features. So let's get into that. You do have a rail right here, so if you want to do a light or a laser, you can do that. One nice little touch is you have this grip textured little divot right here. So it's actually cut out in the frame. So whenever you have your support hand right here, all right, you have a little bit of grip texture so you can, whether you're right or left-handed shooter, that you can put your support right there. I think that's a nice touch, and it's very useful. One thing that Springfield did is they maximized the real estate. They know there's not a lot of real estate on this gun, so everywhere they could maximize the real estate, they did it. And I appreciate that, and you will appreciate that if you're going to be shooting this gun. And what I mean by that, not only did they do the little support areas right here for your support hand, they also did a nice undercut under the frame of the trigger guard, which allows you to get your hand, choke up high on the gun, get a proper grip, all of that, and it really allows you to get a solid 2-finger grip. Unless you have really monster-sized hands, maybe you just have a 1.5-finger grip. I don't know, but I'm able to get 2 fingers solidly on the grip right there. And speaking of the grip texturing, they did a great job. It's called their adaptive grip texture. So basically the top of the pyramids of the grip are flattened off. So when this is up against your skin, it's not going to be super aggressive. But when you actually grip the gun, it gets you to the second layer, which gets you to the grippy part of the texture. Now, I cannot honestly say that it feels any different when I'm actually gripping it, but what I can say is when I was firing the gun, I never felt like the gun was slipping out of my hands. It's got a really nice texture. They did a great job. They kind of split it up right here in the middle, and where your thumb is going to be here or here, it feels really good. Front and back strap, all the same type of texturing. Did a really great job there, I think. The magazines pop out freely. They're very springy. Getting the mag out, getting a fresh mag in, they did a good job with that. Those mags just kick right out of there. Slide stop, of course, right here, and it can be used as a release on this gun. Most of the time on these smaller guns, you're going to get a slide stop that can really not be worked with as a release. And I know this is a point of contention for some people, but if it's on the gun, you should be able to use it in that manner. So there you go. Takedown lever right there, reversible magazine release, which again, I do actually like. It doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to get that mag out of there. Just really the right amount. I like that a lot. The front and rear slide serrations. So you have them there, and you have them on top of the slide plate. So, of course, this will accommodate a couple different types of red dots according to Springfield. And then you have your sights. So the sights are kind of interesting. You have a deep U-notch in the rear, which they call like their tactical rack rear sights or something like that. And then you have a tritium insert front sight with a yellow luminescent ring around it. I really like the front sight. The rear sight, I'm not really a big fan of drop in the bucket type of sights, U-notched or square notched or whatever. I'm not a fan of this really at all. But what's cool is that it co-witnesses with your red dot if you put one on there. So I can appreciate that. Loaded viewport up top, Springfield Armory cross cannons right there. And yeah, like I said, overall, they did a really nice job on the gun, and they really packed this thing full of features. The name is kind of interesting, you know, not only is it the name of a car, but one of the patrons pointed out that it's a World War II fighter plane, which is pretty cool. So, I don't know, I thought the name was kind of interesting. 11 plus 1, 13 plus 1. Let's break it down for you, and then we will get to the range. Lock the slide to the rear. Rotate this lever up. Pull your slide forward. Make sure you're clear, of course. Pull the trigger. Slide comes off. Dual captive recoil spring. And nice shiny feed ramp. I mean, it's probably been 3.5 years since we've done a Springfield review on this channel. So it's been a really long time since I've had a Springfield at all. And I kind of forget some of the nice little things they do, like polishing the feed ramp. It's I don't know, the quality seems to be really good with this pistol. I will say that. Striker block right there, and then of course you have your stainless steel insert for your rails and all of that good stuff. Pretty par for the course. There you go, right there. So we will talk about the trigger after the shooting part of the review. I'll show you the weight, all that good stuff. We'll talk about pros and cons, but let's hit the range, and then after we come back, we will talk about those other things. We will see y'all in a minute. Alright, we're out here with the Hellcat today. We're going to try it at 40 yards and see how it does. So let's go ahead and try it out here. On the last one. All right, well, that wasn't the best representation of 40-yard shots, but this being a smaller gun, I feel pretty good about, how I did there. But again, it's a very small gun outside of the realm of what we would use this gun for. But I just like to kind of show you what you can do if you do your part with this gun. It's not too bad. All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so hopefully y'all enjoy this new camera angle I'm trying out. When I flew up to Massachusetts to do some testing at Smith & Wesson, I was trying to figure out how am I gonna shoot by myself and record at the same time, and all this good stuff, because normally Mrs. Headshot's doing the recording, and I figured it out with this little GoPro setup. So hopefully y'all like that over-the-shoulder POV shot. I think it actually looks really good. Let me know down below what you guys think about it. But the Hellcat did a decent job, but it wasn't like an instant I'm in love with this gun type of feeling. It took several mags for me to really kind of get going with this gun, and the same thing for Mrs. Headshot. We almost had the same exact opinion of this gun at the range. A little bit of snap, not really enjoyable to shoot the first couple of times, but then I started to finally get the hang of the gun. So it's definitely different. I don't think it's for like a brand new shooter or anything like that, but I think if you spend some time with it, it is not too bad at all. The sights are kind of what I expected they would be. Picking up that front sight is not an issue. Adjusting myself, getting that drop in the bucket type of setup, it just takes me some time. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of that U-notch style sight. I am sure there will be plenty of replacements if they're, I'm sure there's already some out there, but I'm sure there will be even more in the future. The gun didn't do a bad job. There's no malfunctions, but it's not, I don't know, it did not do a bad job. It's just, it can be kind of challenging to shoot this gun, I didn't really feel like that with the P365, I don't think. But I will say with this extra, I don't know, half of an inch, it really makes a difference. I don't think the muzzle rise was uncontrollable in any way. Just had a little bit more snap to it than what I kind of expected there. So, all in all, the gun did pretty dang good at the range for as small as it is. Racking the slide, all of that, no issues there. This is a very stiff spring in this gun. All right, so if you have a weaker dexterity in your hands, maybe something to consider. But again, it wasn't a problem for either one of us getting that slide racked. No kind of issues. Let me show you the trigger. You do have your safety dingus in the middle of the trigger there, pretty par for the course. Springfield kind of talks about this being their flat trigger, and It does have a little bit of curvature to it, but you can see how it flattens out as I get to the wall here. Pull through. It's got some weight on it. Try it again. Reset. Right there. Nice and audible. It's definitely got some weight to it. All right, not too bad of a trigger at all. Let me show you the weight here. I hate pulling these kind of triggers too because they have more curve than what it looks like. That one's actually not too bad though. 5 pounds, 10 ounces. Let's try it one more time for good measure. 6 pounds, 1 ounce. So right at 6 pounds on the trigger right there. All right, so who is this gun made for? And then let's talk about pros and cons. So this is obviously aimed at the concealed carry market for people that are looking for that higher capacity, smaller micro type of 9mm. That's who this gun is for. Maybe if this is going to be your one and only type of gun because the capacity is pretty good, and you're going to have some options here. You're going to have the option to put a red dot. You're going to have the option to put a light or a laser. Speaking of the red dot, a lot of y'all have told me I'm kind of older. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Having the option for a red dot, especially on my carry gun, is great for me because, again, my eyes aren't what they used to be. So that makes a lot of sense. And I am really warming up to this idea of having the option to put an optic on your pistol. I didn't run it like that, but you have the option to do that. And I understand where that can be a great advantage for older people and just people that want another option for their carry gun. So there you go. There's that. I think the gun is made for a wide range of people looking to maybe up their carry game or, and kind of get into this optics ready pistol market, which is, obviously every company is going to this now. So a lot of good things with this gun. Let's talk about the pros. And the number one pro I see with this gun is the size to weight capacity ratio, under 20 ounces unloaded, 18.3 actually, 4 inches in height, and just absolutely, 11 plus 1 is very impressive. Great job with the size to weight capacity ratio. I haven't heard any mention of their magazines and any, patents or anything like that. It's pretty much a double stack mag, and they were able to get single stack width and all of that out of it. Fantastic job with that. The sights are not bad. Again, I'm not the hugest fan of the rear sight, but I really like the front sight, how it draws your eye right to that yellow luminescent sight. I think it's really, really good. The grip texturing is fantastic. This is how it should be. And the Shield EZ, I was impressed with that gun as well. The grip texturing is just fantastic. They just did a really good job of getting that balance between super aggressive and not aggressive enough, or super slippery, I should say. They really did a good job there. Undercut and the trigger guard, the way they were able to utilize the real estate that they had and allow us as shooters to utilize that real estate, I think was a job well done. The mags pop in and out. They pop out really easily, so if you're doing a quick mag change, you can get those magazines right out there. I really enjoyed that. Overall, it's got a good feel in the hand, and seems to be a pretty quality gun. There was a couple of cons though, and I will say I'm not the biggest fan of the trigger. I think that it's got a little bit more curvature than what I would like. It's a little bit heavier feeling. It feels heavier than 6 pounds to me. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think if it had maybe a little shorter travel and a little less weight, I think I would actually like it more. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe I have to warm up to it a little bit more, but I'm just not the biggest fan of that. And the slide serrations. I mean, these are cut so shallow, they're almost non-existent. I'm not a fan of these slide serrations at all, I'll be honest with you. And I think for a gun as small and with such a stiff spring, they would want to put a more aggressive slide serration so you can really get a hold of that. I didn't have any issues with it, but I could see this being a summertime issue if I have to rack this slide when it's 110 degrees outside and the humidity's 100% as well. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. They're like these dual cuts and spaced out. I just think they should be deeper cut into the slide there. That's just my opinion, of course. And this is this is a small thing, and I don't think it'll have any implications for the future, but I just wanted to point it out. The slide stop on this gun seems super cheap, like toy plastic type of cheap. Obviously, this is a plastic polymer frame, but this just seems, I don't know, really cheap. I don't know, not a fan of that. Other than that, we talked about the sights. Not a huge fan of that. I do like that they put this little beaver tail in the rear, so no chance of slide bite. I did see something in their intro video too, like there's, this is kind of pushed out. The frame is pushed out just enough. So if this is up against, I'm not going to put it up against my hand, of course, but if this is pushed up against something like a person that's trying to attack you, the slide will actually still function. And it's not pushed way out. Like, remember the Honor Guard when they had their tactical type of stabbing device? No, it was like a tactical type of polymer rail that they had that stuck out from the gun. This is so subtle that you would never really notice it, but it's a really nice feature. Let's try it with the 365 here. Now you see how they're both the barrel and the frame are just flush together. So this just sticks out ever so slightly, and I think that's a nice little touch with a defensive style gun. So obviously some pros and cons. Y'all know how we do it by now. And overall, I would give the gun a grade of a solid 9 to 9.5. They did a lot of things really well with this gun. No malfunctions to speak of. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this trigger, but I feel like I'm good enough with this gun to carry it and trust it. I'm really impressed here, guys. That's all I can really say. So I want to know what your opinion of the Hellcat is. Make sure you leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.